A mother and her teenage daughter stand in Judge Caprio's courtroom. The car is registered to mom, but the daughter Michaela was driving when she ran a red light. It was raining. Visibility was poor. The light changed quickly from yellow to red. Judge Frank Caprio listens to their explanation with his characteristic compassion. He's reviewing the circumstances. He's considering the weather conditions. He's about to show mercy and dismiss the ticket completely. All Michaela has to do is accept the ruling gracefully. That's it. Just say thank you and walk out owing nothing. But in the split second between mercy offered and mercy received, this 18-year-old does something so shockingly disrespectful that the entire courtroom gasps in horror. She raises her hand and gives Judge Frank Caprio the middle finger right there in open court on camera with her mother standing beside her. What happens next is the instant destruction of a dismissal that was literally 1 second away from being official. Hit subscribe right now because 97% of viewers haven't subscribed to my channel, and this case proves why one gesture can cost you everything and why disrespect has immediate and brutal consequences. By the end of this video, you'll watch an 18-year-old turn complete forgiveness into full payment. Watch a mother's horror as her daughter destroys their chance and understand why Judge Caprio's mercy has limits that should never be tested. Here's the question. Why would someone throw away a gift at the exact moment it's being handed to them? You're about to witness it in real time. Wednesday morning, 10:45 a.m. Providence Municipal Court. The BAFE calls. Vehicle registered to Patricia Dawson. Red light violation driven by Michaela Dawson. A woman in her mid-40s walks to the podium with her teenage daughter beside her. The mother looks professional, respectful. The daughter, maybe 18 or 19, is dressed casually but appropriately. They both seem nervous but polite. Judge Caprio looks up warmly.
Good morning, ladies. MRS Dawson. Yes, Your Honor. I'm Patricia Dawson. This is my daughter, Michaela. Good morning, Michaela. Good morning, Your Honor.
The daughter's voice is quiet, respectful. Judge Caprio reviews the citation. I see the vehicle is registered to you, Mrs. Dawson, but the citation indicates your daughter was driving. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Michaela borrowed my car that day to get to work. She has her own insurance and permission to drive it. And Michaela, you're cited for running a red light at the intersection of Hope Street and Angel Street. Can you tell me what happened? Michaela speaks carefully, clearly trying to be respectful. Your Honor, it was raining really hard that day. I was driving to work and approaching the intersection. The light was green when I was pretty far back. Then it turned yellow. I was going the speed limit, 35 miles per hour, and I didn't think I could stop safely in the rain, so I went through. So, the light was yellow when you entered the intersection. I thought it was yellow, Your Honor, but the officer said it was red. I guess it must have turned red right as I went through. It happened really fast.
Judge Caprio pulls up the traffic camera footage.
Let's look at the video together. The monitor shows the intersection on a rainy day. Visibility is clearly reduced. Michaela's car approaches. The light is yellow, then turns red just as the front of her car enters the intersection. Judge Caprio studies it carefully.
I can see what you mean.
The light changed from yellow to red very quickly, and the conditions were poor. Was this during rush hour?
Yes, Your Honor.
Around 8:30 in the morning. And you said you were going the speed limit?
Yes, Your Honor.
35. Because of the rain, I was being careful. Patricia, the mother adds, Your Honor, my daughter is a very responsible driver. She's never had a ticket before. She was genuinely trying to be safe in bad weather. Judge Caprio nods, his expression sympathetic. I can see that the footage shows the light changed very quickly and the conditions were challenging. Michaela, do you work full-time? Yes, Your Honor. I work at a nursing home as a CNA. I was on my way to my shift when this happened.
A CNA?
That's important work. Hard work, too. Thank you, Your Honor. I love what I do. And you were trying to get to work on time, driving carefully in the rain, and got caught in a timing situation with the light. Yes, Your Honor. Exactly. Judge Caprio reviews his notes. The courtroom can sense he's leaning toward leniency. This is a young woman with no prior violations, doing important work, caught in a difficult situation with bad weather and a quickly changing light. Subscribe to the narrator if you believe young people deserve second chances when they're respectful and honest. Judge Caprio looks at both women with a warm expression. Mrs. Dawson, Michaela, I want to explain my thinking here. Both women listen attentively, hopeful. Michaela, technically you did run a red light. The video shows the light was red when your vehicle was in the intersection. That's the violation as written. Michaela's face falls slightly, but she nods. I understand, Your Honor. However, I also see the context. Heavy rain, reduced visibility, a light that changed very quickly from yellow to red. You were driving the speed limit, being careful because of conditions, and you have no prior violations. You're a young woman working as a CNA, which tells me you're responsible and contributing to your community. Thank you, Your Honor. The fine for running a red light is typically $175. That's not an insignificant amount, especially for someone just starting their career. Patricia speaks up quietly. Your Honor, if there's a fine, I'll help her pay it, but it would be difficult for us right now. Judge Caprio nods understandingly. Mrs. Dawson, I appreciate your willingness to help your daughter. That shows good parenting, but I'm not going to make either of you pay. Both women's eyes widen with hope. Michaela, I'm going to dismiss this citation. The circumstances warrant leniency. You were driving carefully. You've been honest about what happened. And I believe this was a genuine judgment call in difficult conditions rather than reckless driving. Michaela's face lights up with relief. Oh my God, Your Honor. Thank you so much. Patricia puts her hand over her heart. Your Honor, that's so kind. Thank you. Judge Caprio smiles, clearly pleased to be able to help. Michaela, I want you to continue being a careful driver. Continue your work as a CNA. And remember this moment. Not everyone gets a second chance. So, make sure you deserve the one I'm giving you. I will, Your Honor. I promise. Thank you so much. Judge Caprio picks up his stamp, ready to mark the dismissal official. So, we're clear. You're not paying anything. The citation is dismissed. Drive safely. And this is the moment where everything should have ended perfectly. A young woman forgiven, a mother relieved, a judge pleased to show mercy. But in the 2 seconds between those words and the stamp hitting the paper, as Judge Caprio reaches for the dismissal stamp, Michaela turns to her mother with a huge smile. She's thrilled. She's relieved. And then in what she apparently thinks is a moment of celebration, she raises her hand and extends her middle finger toward Judge Caprio. It's not subtle. It's not hidden. It's right there in open court, visible to everyone, captured on camera. The courtroom gasps audibly. Multiple people say, "Oh no," out loud. The mother's face drains of all color. Judge Caprio's hand freezes midair. The stamp never touches the paper. His expression transforms from warm to ice-cold in an instant. Excuse me. Michaela realizes her mistake immediately. The smile vanishes from her face. Your Honor, did you just make an obscene gesture at me? Your Honor, no, I was just. Patricia grabs her daughter's arm, her voice panicked.
Michaela, what did you do?
Judge Caprio's voice is quiet but carries like thunder. Miss Dawson, I was literally in the process of dismissing your ticket. My hand was on the stamp. And you decided to give me the middle finger. Your Honor, I didn't mean it toward you. Then who were you directing it toward, Miss Dawson? You were looking at me when you did it.
Michaela is scrambling.
Your Honor, I swear I was just excited. I was being stupid. I wasn't trying to disrespect you.
You raised your middle finger in my courtroom, Miss Dawson.
In what world is that not disrespectful? Patricia is mortified. Your Honor, I am so sorry. My daughter made a terrible mistake.
She's young.
She got excited. She wasn't thinking. Judge Caprio holds up his hand to stop her. Mrs. Dawson, I appreciate that you're trying to defend your daughter, but she's 18 years old. She's an adult, and adults are responsible for their actions. He turns his full attention back to Michaela.
Miss Dawson, do you understand what just happened? Michaela is crying now. Genuine tears of panic and regret.
Your Honor, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean any disrespect. I was just so happy and relieved, and I did something really stupid without thinking. You did something disrespectful in a court of law while I was showing you mercy.
I know, Your Honor.
I know. I'm so sorry. Judge Caprio leans back in his chair, his expression stern. Miss Dawson, I'm going to explain something to you. When someone in authority is about to do you a favor, when they're about to show you compassion you don't deserve by law, the appropriate response is gratitude, not celebration, not gestures. Quiet, respectful gratitude. Yes, Your Honor, you're absolutely right. What you did showed me something about your character. It showed me that your respect for this court, and for me personally, is conditional. When you think you're getting what you want, you're polite. When you think you've won, you disrespect. That's not true, Your Honor. Your actions say otherwise, Miss Dawson. Don't forget to subscribe to the narrator for moments when mercy gets destroyed by disrespect. Judge Caprio puts down the dismissal stamp and picks up a different one. The courtroom knows what's coming, and it's not good. Miss Dawson, I was about to dismiss your citation. That dismissal is no longer happening. Michaela's legs buckle slightly. Her mother catches her arm to steady her. Your Honor, please. The fine for running a red light is $175. That fine will be paid in full. Your Honor, I understand. I'll pay it. I'm so sorry. I'm not finished, Miss Dawson. The courtroom holds its breath. For showing contempt to this court, for making an obscene gesture while I was in the process of showing you mercy, I'm adding an additional penalty of $300. Patricia gasps. Michaela starts crying harder. Your total fine is $475. Your Honor, please. I can't afford that. You should have thought about that before you raised your middle finger in my courtroom. Patricia tries one more time. Your Honor, I know my daughter made a terrible mistake, but she's young, she's learning, and $475 is a lot of money for someone making CNA wages. Is there any way? Judge Caprio's response is firm. Mrs. Dawson, I respect you. You're clearly a good mother trying to support your daughter, but your daughter is an adult who made an adult decision to disrespect this court. She needs to face adult consequences. I understand, Your Honor. Judge Caprio addresses Michaela directly. Miss Dawson, you work as a CNA making probably $12 to $14 an hour. $13 an hour, Your Honor. So $475 represents about 36 hours of work for you. Roughly one full week's pay. Yes, Your Honor. Do you understand that you just cost yourself a week's pay with one gesture? Michaela is sobbing. Yes, Your Honor. I understand. Do you understand that 10 seconds ago you owed nothing? That I was dismissing everything? That you were walking out of here free? Yes, Your Honor. I know. I'm so sorry. Your apology doesn't change what you did, Miss Dawson. It doesn't undo the disrespect. All it tells me is that you're sorry you're facing consequences, not that you understand why what you did was wrong. I do understand, Your Honor. I really do. Then explain to me why you did it. Michaela struggles to find words through her tears. I don't know, Your Honor. I was so happy and relieved, and I just did it without thinking. It was stupid. It was disrespectful. I wasn't raised to act like that. I just made a really bad choice in a moment of excitement. Judge Caprio studies her for a long moment. Miss Dawson, do you make obscene gestures regularly? No, Your Honor, never. So why did you do it today in a courtroom to a judge? I don't have a good answer, Your Honor. It was wrong and I'm ashamed. Judge Caprio's voice remains stern but takes on a slightly different quality. The tone of someone teaching a painful but necessary lesson. Miss Dawson, I want you to understand something. This courtroom sees hundreds of people every week. Young people, old people, rich people, poor people. They come here having made mistakes, violated laws, caused problems. And you know what determines whether they get mercy or maximum penalties. Michaela shakes her head, unable to speak.
Attitude, respect, Humility.
People who come in here respectful, honest, and humble almost always get compassion. People who come in here disrespectful, arrogant, or contemptuous get the full weight of the law. I understand, Your Honor. You came in respectful. You were polite. You explained your situation honestly. You showed the kind of character that deserves leniency. And I was giving it to you freely, without hesitation. I know, Your Honor. And then you threw it away with one gesture, one moment of poor judgment. And now, instead of owing nothing, you owe $475. Patricia speaks up quietly. Your Honor, I'll help her pay it. We'll figure it out. Judge Caprio nods to her. Mrs. Dawson, you're a good mother, but I hope you'll let your daughter bear most of this cost herself. She needs to learn that actions have consequences.
I will, Your Honor.
She'll pay it herself. An older woman in the courtroom gallery raises her hand. Judge Caprio notices. Yes, ma'am. She stands.
Your Honor, may I say something, please?
I'm watching this young woman throw away mercy, and it breaks my heart. I'm 73 years old. I've made mistakes in my life, and I've learned that the moments when someone offers you grace are precious. You don't take them for granted. You certainly don't disrespect them. She looks at Michaela. Young lady, you just learned an expensive lesson. I hope you never forget it because the judge is right. Respect costs nothing. Disrespect cost you nearly $500. Several people in the gallery nod in agreement. Michaela is crying too hard to respond. Judge Caprio adds, Miss Dawson, that woman just gave you wisdom that's worth more than the fine you're paying.
Io pure listening. I am, Your Honor.
I really am. Good.
Because RS what I want you to remember.
Every single day, you're going to go to work as a CNA. You're going to take care of elderly people, sick people, vulnerable people, and they're going to depend on you to be respectful, careful, and mature.
Yes, Your Honor.
Those patients deserve better than someone who makes obscene gestures when they're excited. They deserve someone who exercises self-control and shows respect even in moments of strong emotion.
You're right, Your Honor. So, this $500 lesson better change you. It better make you think before you act.
Because if you can't control yourself in a moment of good news, what happens when you're stressed?
What happens when you're angry? What happens when a patient frustrates you?
Michaela nods vigorously. I understand, Your Honor. This will never happen again. Where are you watching from? Comment your city if you believe one moment of disrespect can destroy